What is up, my dragonflies? Welcome back to another video, and I hope everyone had an amazing day. And yes, this time I'm using my phone. If it looks different, or whatever the case may be, because my camera computer wants to act up, all of a sudden not record anymore. But I'm putting this angle. I'm just going with the vibes right now. But yeah, we are back with Dragon. I just don't like when things I'm not gonna say I don't like. It's just, can we just get with the program? Like, can I just record, please? But I'm solid with this one. But we're back with Hood Nature, aka Casual Geographic, and this is Who's the Pokemon. And last, the one I recorded before, my camera wasn't recorded, so and I recorded for a good the whole show, and I was like, I can't because when I was editing, blah blah blah. But when they're there, we're back. Well, Hood Nature, Who's the Pokemon? Who's the Pokemon? Let's get it. Looks like a
So a
wolf
lot of y'all tagged me and wanted to know what that is.
with a
And honestly, I don't really
donkey
know. Okay, that was
mixed
kind of
with
cap. It's a main
a
wolf and a
wolf.
pretty common
Not a wolf.
Brazilian Argentine. But they're not
Fox.
wolves, they're not foxes, they're not even cross-dressing coyotes. They're kind of just their own thing, and they are really weird. Because even though they're technically related to wolves, most of their grocery list is just fruits and vegetables. Like that one dude that brings
Okay.
a veggie burger to a cookout. And I'm saying that out loud, they're basically the pandas of dogs. Also, they smell like Snoop Dogg Studio, to the point where police were called to a Dutch zoo to investigate what
Weed.
they thought was burning bush when it was actually just still puppies' piss. Also, they straight up sound like an identity crisis. Do you know what I mean when I say they're just weird as hell? They honestly look like what happens when God's on a deadline. On a serious note, in 2011, a Maine wolf got
Thank
run
you.
over by a
I wouldn't
truck
mind
and
having one in my
died, but a
backyard.
Brazilian zoo managed to save her life by treating her with stem cells, making her the first wild animal to ever be treated with stem cell therapy, and eventually she was released back into the wild. Just thought that was cool.
I mean, if they only eat fruits and vegetables, you know.
I swear nature just be making shit up, because what if I told you what you just saw was some weird prehistoric water-loving jungle rhino? Well, I wouldn't exactly be lying. That is a bear's taper, and it's basically the less clouded cousin of horses and rhinoceroses. Rhinoceroses? You might recognize them from Ice
Yeah.
Age, or it might remind you of Drowsy, because this Pokemon is actually based on a Malayan tapir. And that's because in Japanese mythology, the Malayan tapir would devour the nightmares of all the townsfolk to make sure everyone had good dreams. The bear's tapir is a national animal of Belize, and even though it looks like a rough draft rhino, its nickname is actually the mountain cow. And they're way bigger than you think, and at up to 800 pounds with a horse's mouthpiece, they're 100% capable of eating you all the way up. There's also something about them that, I'm not proud that I know this. Basically, tapirs have a fifth leg, and they've been known to use that meat tripod as a back scratcher. Because guidelines has been on mine, I'm not going to show you. Instead, here's ASMR you didn't know you needed.
Gums, teeth, and everything.
Some things just have Australia tattooed all over it. This little guy is a Strophurus gecko, and it's found in only one place in the world, it's in the land down under. Now, it's not hell, it's Australia, but I wouldn't blame you for getting it too mixed up. To defend itself, this gecko shoots out a harmless but nasty smelling liquid at anyone that wants to find out just how far evolution went with this lizard. And even though I just said it was harmless, when mixed with ammonia it becomes flammable and a lot less harmless. The reason is because these geckos often get picked off by birds. So these chameleons use that money shot to convince birds that they're not even worth the effort of trying to eat them.
Oh.
It's like Spider-Man, but instead of webs, it's a Febreze of liquid ass that probably tastes just as bad. I was considering making a gizzard joke, but it just didn't come to me. Unlike this gecko.
Don't do it. Keep it PG-13.
So when I first talked about this, I thought it was a black sea hare, a giant species of sea slug, but it turns out the truth is somehow weirder than that. This crab is being eaten alive by a worm, specifically a marine flatworm, part of the group Pseudoceras. They're the ones that have those PP sword fights where one tries to get the other pregnant by stabbing it. Yeah, those guys. The reason the flatworm's covering the crab is because it's trying to invert its digestive system so it can literally digest the crab from the outside. Or option 2, it'll spit digestive juices into the crab, wait for the crab to become a pre-digested paralyzed soup, and then slurp it through its mouth. Also, some flatworms will use poison to cripple their prey just so they can eat them alive. The poison some of them use is a toxin called tetrodotoxin. That sounds familiar? It's the same toxin that makes the blue ring octopus and the fugu blowfish so dangerous. And by dangerous, I mean this octopus can turn 26 grown men into hashtags. And this blowfish can drop 30. Not points,
Blow,
but
blow, blow, blow,
bodies.
blow, blow, blow.
Moral of this video? Yeah, that crab is... These teeth belong to the world's scariest vegan. This is a gelada baboon, and even though its teeth looks like it should belong to a saber-toothed cat, They eat almost nothing but grass, and they'll spend all day grazing like cows. And they'll do this while rolling up in squads of up to 600. That is a gelada monkeys. And that joke is why I'm still single. Speaking of failed relationships, they cheat on each other like all the time. Normally, only the dominant male is allowed to mate, but sometimes the females will go behind his back and hook up with the lower ranking monkeys, and they'll even suppress their usual mating noises just so they don't get caught. Because if they get caught, the male could turn the side piece into a hashtag. So yeah, they know what they're doing. They're also called bleeding heart monkeys because of that bright patch of skin on their chest. If you have a weak stomach, hide in the comments. You're not gonna like this one. So when a female gelada's in heat, she'll start growing this weird ass blister necklace that tells other males she's available. I hate it. I hate all of it. I somehow almost forgot to mention this, but they'll flip their lips and expose their teeth to intimidate a rival or someone who's just too close in general. And considering sometimes they'll form gangs and bully other animals like leopards, yeah, you don't want those problems. Now, what if I told you not only is this skull real, the animal it belonged to very well could have been your neighbor? If you live in North America or some parts of Asia, this thing could have made its home in your backyard. This is the headpiece of Metamynodon planiforms. It was a semi-aquatic unit of an animal related to the rhinoceros of today. Basically, lock a hippo and a rhino in a hotel room together. This disrespect to the natural order is what would have walked out. Metamynodon was estimated to grow to 13 feet long and break the scales at 4,000 pounds. Like hippos, this walking bus of an animal would have grazed on mostly grass. But they also would have used those tusks to run away from each other into evolutionary power phrase for female validation. And also, like hippos and crocodiles, Metamynodon's eyes were near the top of its head. It could see you while being almost completely submerged underwater. And just like the homicide horse of today, Metamynodon would have been a fucking problem. But this swamp rhino got vaulted about 35 million years ago. Because even nature knows when to stop the gimmick. Nah, it's just me, but check this out. This is one of the most endangered animals in the entire world, and there's not much time left for them. This is a vaquita, and scientists believe there can be less than 10 of them in existence. So a little background, a vaquita is a type of porpoise, and a porpoise is just a Dollar Tree dolphin that no one seems to really know about. And this off-brand flipper exists in only one place on the entire planet. The only place in the world you can find it is in the Gulf of California and Baja California in Mexico. Even though it's related to literally the biggest animals in the world, at less than 5 feet long, the vaquita is the smallest of all living cetaceans, which is a group that includes blue whales. The biggest threat to this travel-sized dolphin is they keep getting caught in fishing gear, which causes them to drown. To show you how badly we hold this Make-A-Wish whale, 1997 there was believed to be something like 600. That number dipped to 245 in 2008. Now there aren't enough in the world to run a game of full-court basketball. The worst part is they were first discovered in 1958, which means we managed to pack their entire up in only 60 years. The Mexican government banned fishing with gill nets, which was their biggest threat. There's also petitions like this to raise awareness. Link in bio. Link in bio. If we're being honest, it might just be up for them. On this episode of Animals That Were Never God's Favorite, squids have a donut-shaped brain with their esophagus running through it. The donut shape actually helps them link information that they receive between the two eyes. But it also means squids are foreseen with small bites at a time. Because if a squid tries to swallow something too big, it can actually mess around and give itself severe brain damage. The hole in the brain isn't even that big, it's like less than half an inch, which means something like a Popeye's biscuit would give them an aneurysm. That is if it didn't pass tense them instantly. Giant squids avoid getting flatlined by their food because they have a radula, which is basically a tongue with teeth. So if a giant squid tried to eat you, it would first tear you to shreds with that nightmare of a tongue before swallowing you. And only after grinding you into human dirt would the squid be able to pass you down its throat. Now nobody's perfect, but having to eat basically flavored sand for your entire life just so you don't accidentally factory reset yourself just seems like an intentional.
I got my eye on you.
People wanted me to react to this, so basically there's an animal draft and I have many thoughts. Most people choose between a good time and a long time, and Team 1 said fuck it and chose neither. You failed the assignment when the most intimidating animal on your roster is this. We love dogs, but if you only have one, it's not going to take you very far. Bison are cool, but since evolution took them and put 2 of their lungs in one cavity, for an animal built like a tank, they're pretty easy to one-shot. Sea turtles are dope, but you picked an animal that can get folded by a Ziploc bag. Team 1, it's up for you. Team 2 used the second overall pick on a steroid weasel. Now that tells me all I need to know. Made up for it with the crocodile and the Komodo dragon, and elk isn't exactly terrible, but your team does lack one very important thing. Elk got no type of speed. And notice how I didn't even acknowledge the koala. Because unless it's during the 10 minutes they're awake every day, the koala isn't going to be a factor. Even if it was, it wouldn't be good for much except spreading chlamydia to the other teams. Now we get into the real shit. Team 5, you started off strong by picking the largest land predator on the planet with the polar bear. I guess you ran out of to give because then you picked the African bullfrog and followed it up with a genetic disaster that is the liger. Technically, the liger is a medical bill that can suffer from arthritis, organ failure, and cancer. Wouldn't even have to kill the liger. Time would do it for you. You do get points for picking the animal with the highest recorded bite force at 3,700 pounds per square inch. It's kind of like getting hit with a prehistoric sledgehammer with teeth. Then you followed it up with an animal literally nicknamed Black Death in the Cape Buffalo. Not bad. But honestly, none of that even matters because Team 4
Wowzers.
did y'all dirty. Team 3 is tough, I am not denying that. But any team with the largest animal on land, the actual largest big cat because ligers have no business existing, and the psychopath of the sea is going 82 and 0. And if you disagree, elephants body hippos, a horse could kick a cassowary's
Ah.
legs out, a tiger would murk kangaroo jack. This is what orcas do to sharks. And the panda, I ain't gonna lie to you, he's just there for vibes. Basically, it comes down to this. Nothing on land is fucking with an
Your dogs are like harmless. Baby wolves, cheetahs, mountain goats, sea turtles. They're just cute. Yeah, team 3, team 4. Got the little polar bear, the bullfrog, liger, crocodiles. Yeah. Let me see. Mm, yep, it's about right.
elephant.
Team 3, team
Nothing in
4.
water is checking an orca. Adding a tiger is just great. Team 4 got it.
Cause ogres are straight up savages. Hippos don't care. Tigers, they trained to go. They are trained to go. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Have the most awesome positive day. Stay grateful. Stay blessed at all times. And until next time, you guys.